Episode of the Everblack Podcast is brought to you by Deathwish, Hotrods and Kustoms. Check out their Instagram for all their new t-shirts, caps, beanies, cups, and the all-new Atomic Death lineup. How are ya?
Good.
Great, man. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. It's been a while since I've seen you guys.
Yes. Yeah.
Down the traps.
I love his shirt, man. Great band. He is legend.
Oh, it's great, eh? Yeah.
Love
Yep.
it.
And
Awesome.
they're such an underrated band.
Oh,
See,
tell me about it.
Dan's over there.
Wait, so you guys can see through the camera, can you?
Yeah, they can
Yep.
see us. They
Oh.
can see my nerd room.
Yeah.
That's great, man.
love
It's
your
really
nerd,
cool. Yeah.
Usually it's
vibing
got
on it.
mood lighting, but we're like, oh, it's going to be audio only, so we'll just.
It's cool, man.
Yeah. It's definitely cool to speak to you guys. That's for sure. Because
Oh, thank you.
yeah, Dan's gonna be driving this one,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
Driver Dan.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
I'm
I'm designated driver, DD.
Yeah. I'm gonna switch off our video because it feels weird.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm
Go
just
for
fine.
it.
All right,
Everyone's
because
some
like
sign.
you see me like just being-
Like a pink show,
It is. It's at my clothes are staying on this time, Dan.
please.
All right, here we go.
All right. Well, look, we'll state the obvious, and you guys are back. After 15 long years, like I think I can speak for the fans. Like feels like the best thing to come out of 2022, and like
Oh,
it's
thank you.
dead set, guys. Like I hope you guys can understand from your end how exciting this is for the fans. Like we've been hoping for this, especially me. I missed out on your last gig because I was in Tasmania. I was in Brisbane when you guys went on stage at the Hard Rock. So
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was
man.
fucking gutted.
we're
Damn.
definitely getting a feel for the gravity of, like the appreciation of us coming back is
Yeah.
bigger than we sort of thought. Yeah, man, it's great that you guys are feeling that, and we're feeling it too, just from the response
Mhm.
through social media and through the shows selling out as well. And
Yep.
The ultimate connection is going to be at those gigs when we get to
Come on.
really feel it.
I can't even imagine how it's going to feel for you guys, let alone us. And that was my first question, was like,
Mm.
it's for us, the fans, it's so exciting, but how are you guys feeling? Like you must be over the
Oh
moon.
man, it's just exciting. Like I just personally, I love being around Jason, Dane, and Sean so much. So it's super exciting, man. And then on top of that, we get in a room, we get to play these songs, and we are working diligently on this set list. It is going to be the best Sunk Loto set anyone has ever seen. These shows are going to be great. They're going to be phenomenal because we want to put on the best show for the fans, because you guys have been so good to us on our return too. So we know that we're going to make these shows special.
Do you like, once you guys had figured out, you'd sat down, because I listened to the interview with Life is Peachy, which by the way, that was such a good listen.
Thank you.
And you talked about, you went out for coffee and you knew it was going to happen. Do each of you remember like the moment that you kind of realized this was actually happening? Like it would have at the time felt not real, but at some point it must have felt so real.
Yeah, man, the first rehearsal was insanely surreal.
Yeah.
From the moment we all sort of walked into the room and started setting up our gear and plugging in, it was like, is this a dream? Is this actually happening? Like, I remember doing this with these guys when we were 20 years old, and now, we're not 20 years old anymore. Like the moment we sort of, because we sort of picked a few songs and like said, let's do this properly. Let's learn the songs and really brush up before we hit the jam room. and we did. And when we first sort of played the first song, it was just like, what the hell? That was, what was that?
Right. Yeah.
It was actually like dream-like, man, in a it's like, is this happening? And it was, and we're just looking at each other going, holy shit, this is amazing.
I can't even imagine how it must have felt like. But speaking of the set list, did did that take long for you to come up with, or did it feel natural?
Well, what we kind of did was we would each pick a song, and then we would pick one collectively as well.
Yeah.
And then we'd, kind of have a go home and learn the songs, and then we would turn up to the next rehearsal. And after a while, we had about 20 songs, and we kind of realized, guys, we're going to have to start putting a set together. We're going to go out and do some shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, man. I think we're still sort of like refining the order of the set, but we're getting pretty close. But yeah, I think we've picked the best set of songs we can put forward, and yeah, it's going to be awesome.
I'm so excited.
Has there? Can I just ask you guys? Has there been a song that you've fallen in love with again?
Oh yeah. What about you, Jace? You go.
Oh man, there's been a few, definitely. Like, it's hard to pick one, but the stuff that's really taken me by surprise is the earlier stuff. Like Between Birth and Death for us and for me is a no-brainer. But the Big Picture Lies stuff, we're playing a few songs that I didn't think we would play off that record. That I'm just going, man, I didn't realize how good these songs were. And,
yeah, a really good album.
Yeah, it is, man. It didn't quite get put across the way we would have liked to it back in the day. But this is an opportunity now for us to play it live and go, hey, these songs are cracking. And I'm really feeling some of those songs, man, off Big Picture Lies, definitely.
I think that album, like, I've always thought it was good, but I think that you appreciate it more musically the older you get. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Strangely a mature album.
Yeah, it's gotten better with time.
Yeah.
Even some of my friends that like weren't hugely into it are now like texting me saying, oh man, I'm loving Cured or this or that, and I went back. I had to actually go back and like buy all the albums again off iTunes, and I'm listening. Man, I'm blown away by Big Picture Lies because I've had so much time to not listen to it, and going back and listening to it, I'm just like, this is really an amazing album. I don't hate this.
No, you guys didn't really play a lot of it back in the day, nearer the end. So it must be quite nostalgic going back to that album itself.
It is. I think we definitely did go through a bit of a stage where we didn't like that album. We wanted to get as far away from it as we could.
Yeah.
And then sort of really made ourselves Between Birth and Death. That was us for a while. And it still is. But yeah, it's been really surprising. Like I said, playing some of those songs off that album have really stood up beautifully.
Well, look.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you go, Luke. You go.
No, just especially with the production, that we bring now. I think for me personally, a lot of the thing that I was a bit upset about with regards to Big Picture Lies was just the production, the sound of the instrument, the way it was mixed and things like that.
Yeah.
Now I don't mind it, but back then it kind of just bothered me. But I mean, that's just how it is with really any record that you make or any sort of music. You're always going to be critiquing it.
Yeah.
And when you have time away from it and then you're able to go back, even for example, that have you guys heard the Hate and Winter stuff that's on the internet?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I've listened to it.
Yeah, so even that stuff, I had forgotten all about a lot of those songs. And going back, my friend Sam Hart from Metal Injection, he put it on the internet, and then I went back and listened to it. And I was like, wow, man, this stuff is really good. I don't hate this.
Jump that what didn't get released was such a big jump.
Yeah. We just every time we make music, we kind of just do whatever we want to do.
Yeah. Well, actually, now that you bring that album up, the Unreleased stuff, can I ask you, personally, I want to know this answer. With the last stuff, like when you were doing your last gigs and you're playing the new stuff, there is one song that I fucking loved, and I have a small clip of it I filmed on my camera back in the day, Dust to Dust. What happened to that song?
Oh, man, I think I've actually got a copy of it in my car.
Dude, that song is ridiculous. Like it's like I've got about 30 seconds. Like it's in the video, it's going from the chorus into the verse, and then I must have been headbanging because I stopped it as soon as it kicked into the next chorus.
Can you put it on the internet so we can watch it?
Well, I mean, it's short, but I'll do it if I can do it. I'll send you a link on Instagram. Yeah.
Thank you, brother. Sorry, you go, Jace. What were you going to say?
That was a cool song. Yeah. I reckon we could revisit that at some stage potentially. There's probably a lot of stuff that we could revisit as we think about writing new material, because there's just a pile of stuff that never got released that was really good. Whether we take parts of that or whole songs, I'm not sure how that looks. And we'll definitely be looking at writing new material. I'd say that is the goal for us moving forward.
So excited,
Yeah, man. Yeah, but Dust to Dust, that was a cracking song that never saw the light of day.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate. I'm going to throw it out there. Can you maybe revisit that if you can?
Yeah, man. I think I've actually got a copy of it in the house somewhere. Like on CD. Yeah, so I'll bring it to the next jam and we can all have a listen to it. And if you guys can send us that
little video.
Pop it on the internet so we can all watch it.
Oh man, for sure. I've got a couple of videos from that gig, so I'll put them up.
If you can. Sorry, I don't mean to be pushy.
I'll be pushy. Tell him, Dan, do it, eh?
Get it on there.
Are you playing any? Like, I know it's a sneaky question, but are you playing any of that unreleased stuff in this set, or are you trying to visit the old stuff first?
There is one song.
Please,
there is one.
Oh no, you go. Is it that I heard in the Life is Peachy thing? Is it that Jaded song?
Yeah, man. It is one of the best songs I've ever heard in my life, and I am eager for the fans to hear this song. It is. We even have rehearsed it a few times, and it sounds amazing. So, we got to see what we think. That could be a huge possibility, and perhaps we might even play some other stuff too. So, we kind of just go with how we feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you have to do that with a reunion. You can't just, you know what I mean. We want to give as much as we can to the fans, because you guys have really, as Jason put it on the Life is Peachy podcast, you guys have made it, the fans have made it so easy for us. You've come back, you've welcomed us with open arms. So we are eager to put on the best live sets that we can, and we're going to be playing as many songs as we can. So this is going to be a big set, and we plan on delivering for you guys. Oh, thanks, man. That's I thank you from all the fans. Like I'm Luke, I'm going to you at the moment. I feel like a massive congratulations is in order, because you must be about to hit 2 years sobriety.
Yeah, I'm very, very close. So I'm at the moment, I'm 20 months sober.
Dude, that's so awesome.
Thank you so much. And I mean, this has been such a miracle, to happen right now, to be doing this right now when I'm sober, and being able to bring it completely to my full maximum potential. It's just amazing. And the guys have also agreed to do the show sober, so that means the world to me, man. And I know that the band is going to fly these shows.
Yeah, that's so good to hear. I mean, and good on you, Jace, and the rest of the boys for doing that for him. That's so nice.
Yeah, man. It would be cruel to do the opposite.
Dick move.
Yeah, total dick move. But yeah, man. Like honestly, what Luke's done has really, it's been amazing, and it is really was the last sort of piece of the puzzle to make this happen, and it's really thanks to him that he could do what he's done. That we're here,
Thank
really.
you, Jace. Thank you, Jace.
All right.
People realize how big of a thing sobriety is. Like it's not just, I'm just gonna just give that stuff up. It's not like I've grown up with, a family member who was in the same position, like with alcohol, and from my end, like it's watching them go through that's really rough. So like I can.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah. It's just it's a the first part is getting it, putting it down, putting the drugs and alcohol away, and then the next part is learning to live each day of your life and not pick it up when the going gets tough, and to just have those tools, have those things, and I mean, having the band back together, that does not suck. That's a huge motive for me to to continue on.
Yeah,
You know,
man.
I'm very blessed, man. Very blessed to have these guys in my corner. And, you know, thank you so much, man. For your, you know, for all your love and support and encouragement. And, you know, I've gotten so much love and support and encouragement from the fans and everyone. And yeah, man, it's all worth it, you know, especially on those hard days where your brain's trying to get you to kind of, you know, falter. It's like, nah, man, I can't. I've got to keep going and just ride it out. They say kind of like this too shall pass, you know, and that's true. You know, it does.
Day by day.
Exactly, one day at a time. Yeah. One day at a time. Yeah.
Did you find that sobriety kind of changed the way you approached the guitar, or like did it give you a new lease on wanting to play the guitar? Was there?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like being able to play a music instrument. It's like that's the ultimate kind of way to kind of, for me to self-soothe. I know it sounds kind of cheesy and corny, but instead of the thing with the drugs and the alcohol is it just took me completely away, took my focus off music and on drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
When my focus should have been on music, you know, and it's just, yeah, it's wonderful to be able to put that focus back on music.
Yeah.
And be doing, you know, I've got this disease and now it's kind of like I can manifest the ism into positive things instead of negative things. And I can try and use it as a kind of a superpower in a way to kind of manifest good things in my life instead of bad things, you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's the way to do it, man.
Yeah. Yep.
And Jace, I was going to ask you, so like over the last couple of years, you've been doing your solo stuff. You brought out the solo stuff and you started gigging and all that jazz. Sorry, that makes me sound like I'm just saying that it was nothing, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You hit your solo project. What's going to happen with that now? Like, are you going to put all your focus on Sunk, or do you want to kind of try and balance it? What's happening there?
Oh, look, man, like right now, my focus is definitely on Sunk, on these shows and trying to come up with some cool material. But I've still got I've got a whole record written for my solo stuff that I just haven't had time to sort of put to get recorded, basically. But yeah, I'm sort of building a studio at home at the moment, so I may have time to work on that between Sunk.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely Sunk is my priority right now. But there's always going to be a break in that as well, and maybe I can get around to working on my solo record as well.
Man, I'm keen to hear that because it's been 2 years since the EP came out.
Yeah, man, and it happened smack bang when COVID just took the world over, unfortunately. And yeah, like I had plans to play a heap of shows, and that sort of got stifled. I was lucky enough to play a few up here, but it would have been nice to sort of really get around the country with that. But you know, it's all good, man. I had a lot of other musicians suffered as well through that. So
I don't think people realize, but yeah, it took a big hit on the musical community.
Yes, definitely.
I guess you guys have picked the right time to come back in because everything's starting to open back up and
man. We got so lucky, you know what I mean? Just the timing has been wonderful. It's been perfect. It really does feel like, because you know, it was very painful. It's been very painful the last 10 years, just because I would just think about the guys so much, dream about them, think about what we could have done, what we could have achieved, etc. And I would fantasize about having a time machine. I would wish that I'd just wake up and it would all be like a nightmare. And I'd wake up and I'd be 18 again, and you know, this would all be a nightmare, basically. I know that sounds dramatic, but I honestly sometimes thought like that, because I had on my part, I felt a lot of guilt about not the fact I was doing drugs and alcohol. If I hadn't been such deep in my drug addiction, I think I could have pulled the band together and we could have made things work. And so I was just lately, I'm just thinking it's all working out like a perfectly scripted movie. It's so strange. It's so strange because Jace talked about this, you know, saying, I don't know if any other band has kind of had this sort of a story where they've had 15 years off, and then they come back and just so well received. The fans have received us completely. If that makes sense.
Well, you do. You guys have a cult following. You know, you were so big to us at the time. So, and I mean, it's not like everyone was just kind of, if it happens, like everyone wanted it to happen. Like,
and the fan, you guys, like Jay said, you guys have done it for us. You guys did it for us. So we are so grateful because you guys have made. You guys have made it easy on us.
Well, if I was a cog in those works, I'm proud to say it.
And I could back him up on that one because he'd talk about it a lot.
Oh,
he was like, "You need to come back."
It sounds weird saying it to you guys, but like when Between Birth and Death came out, like I was fucking obsessed with you guys. Like that's the like.
Thank you.
Luke, you said in the Life is Peachy podcast about how you had, you were shy and you had fanboy moments and embarrassing moments like meeting Cheetah. I'm going to tell you, for example, I ran into Jace at Rabina one day. There's no way you remember, obviously, but I stopped you to say hi and I probably talked shit to you and you but the embarrassing story is, for example, I have Between Birth and Death on vinyl somewhere.
Oh, cool.
I used to see Sean at the Oasis back in the day. And like we used to go to the same place regularly, and I knew he was there. And it never ended up happening because I was too nervous, but I took the vinyl with me in my backpack one day, hoping that he'd walk out and I'd be like, "Hey man, can you sign my vinyl?" And it never happened.
That's so cool.
Like,
damn, man.
You're not the only one, dude.
Thank you, brother.
We'd happily sign that for you, man.
Yeah. Have you still got it?
Well, that's it. Like all our stuff from our last house got packed up, and like my the vinyls I had, kind of, I don't know what box they're in. So I'm so worried because there's some stuff we keep going like, man, I haven't seen that in any boxes yet, and if I've lost that, I'm going to be gutted.
Ooh,
I never
we might have to re-release it or something, though.
Please do.
Yeah, get you guys copies signed. We've got to get that. If you find that vinyl, we've got to get that signed for you, man.
Oh man, yeah. If I find it, I'll hit you up on Insta and figure something out.
Yes, absolutely.
Speaking of Between Birth and Death, it's quite obvious next year will be 20 years of Between Birth and Death. It's going to sound really cliche, but have any of you even thought about the idea that you could possibly play it from start to finish in its entirety?
Yeah, that's definitely been spoken about, and a potential re-release next year. Let's see how we go, if we can make it all happen. But yeah, man, that's something we've definitely discussed. For a 20-year thing next year would be lovely to tour that in that sort of fashion.
Well, that's like
it'd be amazing.
The thing with that album that sets it apart from so many other albums, and including like Big Picture Lies and that, nothing against it, but that album even works like a set list from start to finish. It's the start of 5 years has a big build up and it kicks in and it's like you're watching a live show, and then the way that Soul Worn Thin finishes, it's so big like that, and everything works perfectly in that album. So I think it would work so well as a set list. So don't.
It surely would, man. It surely would, definitely.
And maybe we could. I just thought of this now. Maybe we could do some of those songs that weren't released from Between Birth and Death during the set.
Yeah.
Just to fill it out, you know what I mean? Ones that people haven't heard before. Because we have a whole lot of songs, like Jason said before, from that Between Birth and Death area that no one's heard. It's kind of similar to, the band System of a Down, and they did that record Toxicity.
Yeah.
And then right after they released that album, Still This Album.
Yeah.
Did you guys know about that? Yeah, so I think a lot of those songs, they actually recorded at the same time they were recording Toxicity. And so we have a bunch of songs, nearly a whole record's worth of songs from that Between Birth and Death era that we could potentially play in addition to the Between Birth and Death set. I don't know. It's just an idea. I just thought of it just now.
We sort of wrote like 2 albums to get to Between Birth and Death, maybe even more, possibly.
Like that album, because you guys must have been in your early 20s, yeah, when you did it.
Not even. We were only 19 when we wrote it, and because when Dame was recording the drums at the Milk Bar in Sydney, I turned 20 while he was recording the drums.
And like, I mean, I know there are young bands out there that write good albums, but especially like I think the best example is Help. Like that song is fucking mental. I don't understand how a 19-year-old wrote that guitar for starters.
It was the first song we actually wrote for that record. Yeah, so we when we first were trying to, like, we decided that we wanted to try and make this album, this like the greatest album we could possibly make, and we had a studio where everything was set up so we could go there whenever we wanted, and we generally worked from about 10 in the morning till about 4 or 5 in the evening, Monday to Friday, and then we'd have weekends off.
Oh wow.
And so we'd go in, and we were kind of trying out all different ways of writing, and we were improvising a lot of stuff. We were just going in, and like we would generally leave every day disappointed because we weren't coming up with anything good, and we had this big plan of making this amazing record. And I remember we went on a band excursion to go and watch it was either Phantomus or Mr. Bungle.
That's
and and so because we'd go on these band excursion, we'd go in the car and we'd all go up and watch a band and come home and basically get an inspiration. And I remember the very next day that we came up with the skeleton for Help, and then we were like, yep, that's the song, we've got this. We knew that we had we knew we could do it, if that makes sense. We knew that we could make it great.
That set the tone, didn't it? That song, it was like, okay,
yes,
that set the tone, set the platform for where we were headed. Definitely, man.
It makes sense because that song, that personally to me, probably that and Soul Worn Thin would be my 2 favorite. And yeah, that like it makes sense that song would set the tone because.
And that also, sorry to dive in over you there, that also was one of the very first songs that we wrote for this record, and we ended up revisiting it. Like, it started at the start and we couldn't do anything with it, and then at the very end of the writing process we finished it as well. So it's funny that you bring that song up too.
Which one was that? Soul Worn Thin?
Yes, Soul Worn Thin. Yeah,
that's right. I forgot that we sort of had that and we pushed it aside, and then we came back and we finished that song off. Yeah,
that's such a good song, man. Like. Because I was going to say with the guitar, like I'm a guitarist, I'll throw that out there, and
awesome.
That album alone changed the way I play guitar, but that like little clean leady bit that you do in the verse of Soul Worn Thin, honestly, really blew my mind at the time. Like I know it's not like the next big thing, but it was just this simple little guitar piece that just really set the tone of that song. So yeah, I just
thank you. Thank you so much. Wait till you hear how it sounds now.
Oh well, okay, that's nice to hear.
Sound better. The songs sound better than they ever did. The way I've been
I'm so keen, boys. Look, we got to wrap things up.
Okay,
guys. Look, I'm so excited for this run of shows. I'm going to be at Gold Coast and one of the Brizzy shows. Hopefully, both of them.
Awesome.
Look, I don't go to the back of moshes anymore. I'm sorry, the front. I go to the back. I plan to be at the front for this one. So
yes,
boy.
So excited, guys. Look, good luck, and hopefully the next time we see you, well, not hopefully, the next time we do see you, you're going to be in front of us doing what you guys do best. So guys, I'm so excited. I'm so honored to have you guys talk to me like that. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
Oh no, thank you. I could do this back and forth for ages, but thank you.
Well, we'll do it again. Yeah, we'll do it again.
Yeah, man, that'd be sick. That'd be sick because I've got millions of other questions I could ask you. So
awesome.
Yeah. And if I find that vinyl, I'll swing.
Yeah, bring the vinyl. I mean, if you can, bring it to the show and we'll sign it.
That'd be awesome. Oh, thanks, boys. Thank you so much. Have a good night, eh?
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
boys.
Take
Good
care.
to see you.
See you later. You too.
Thank you.